with its work. Thank you very much, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. It's a very big topic to talk about EU enlargement and the important role of liberal parties. And of course, we are many people here who have very good answers to that question, or very good thoughts on that question. So I'm really looking forward to hearing from everybody in the room on this topic. Nonetheless, I just try to talk about some specifics about liberal parties that I've noted from meeting many of them, and then maybe talk a little bit about the challenges that we have. I will also, if I have time, I only have 10 minutes, talk about the humans, the individuals. What do we know about the individuals in recent science? But that's in itself is a very large project. But just if we look at liberal parties and the liberal ideology across the board, we can see that we have some very strong common denominators. We tend to be positive about the future and positive about development. We believe in the human potential. Therefore, we are also positive to education. It's always, wherever I come, I see that people really feel a lot on the issue of education. Maybe because we also tend to be very educated as individuals, the people that get involved with liberalism. And the third thing that I really like, and today is really a manifestation of this, is that we say yes to internationalism. So that's like our common ideas. Now, what is so specific about liberal parties? Now, liberal parties are known to be enlightened, competent, and perhaps a bit boring, because they're full of very serious people who do very hard work and normally don't look to be populistic, don't tend to simplify the world and so on. So we have a specific niche among parties, and that's something to think about. Also, we have a very strong tendency to be urban. Liberal parties, wherever I come, we say, oh, we're very good in the capital, we're very good in that city, but oh, it's terrible on the countryside. So liberal parties is an urban phenomenon. Now, is this good or bad? It's good, but because in today's world, 50% of the people live in cities, and more people do move to cities. We can ask ourselves, why are liberal parties popular in the urban setting? And we can actually go back to sociological theory. George Simmel, already in the turn of the last century, realized that if you are in an urban environment, you constantly see people that are different from you, and tolerance is only a survival strategy, and that it shapes your mind. So if we look today's connected world, both a world that's moving into the urban setting and a world that's constantly communicating with the new communication technologies, I think that tolerance actually does have a good future. The third thing is that liberal parties tend to be fairly small, but at the same time extremely relevant. If we look historically, liberal parties have always been on the right side of history. We have never been the ones who took the wrong position. That's something to keep working on. Now, what we've learned, now we have seen the ideas, we see the characteristics of our organizations. So what have we learned from the work of engaging in promotion of liberalism and liberal democracy? First, we see that working for liberalism and liberal democracy is a marathon. It's hard work. You work within the system, and you're the most serious person of everybody. You really do your homework, and you get involved as a serious person. That's why we're known to be boring, but that's also why we're known to be effective in the long run. Secondly, to be successful, we have seen that although we are small, although we think that we have the best ideas, unless we are able to build alliances with other people who have at least similar ideas, we will not get anywhere at all. So it's very important. Now, Sweden I won't say never. We have had a majority liberal government, but that was more than 70 years ago. But now we have a very strong liberal influence in government, and that's just as important. So look for alliances. And thirdly, don't shy away from power. Until we have liberal Democrats in power, there is not liberal democracy. So don't never think that you're too nice to get involved. Now, what we've learned about humans in the last centuries, we have had ideas or philosophies about what is a human. Today, we have much better knowledge of how the brain works. The discipline is called evolutionary psychology, meaning that although humans are capable of a lot of things, they also have, the brain is wired in a certain way that makes us think in certain ways. One thing that is prevalent in all societies, well, there are many things that are prevalent in all human societies, the institution of marriage, giving names to children, shame, and etc. I mean, there are many things that are human universals, but I'm going to talk about 3 of them. One is that people everywhere tend to confuse power with power and social status with rights and morality. That's why it's always very difficult to change a country, because people want to believe that those who are in power also have good morals. Otherwise, it would be very hard to live. Secondly, and this is very, I think this whole topic is fascinating. The morality, the human morality, comes from 2 different parts of the brain, and they come from emotions. One, the emotion of aggression is where you were you trying to interrupt me? It's my chairman, so maybe I'm. No, from the feeling of aggression comes the morality of an eye for an eye and equal bargaining. From the part of the brain that can smell something that's rancid or repugnant comes the moral taboos. Now, this is both these things are very much influencing us. And sometimes, once something has moved in, well, of course, the morality of an eye for an eye is like the basis of a class struggle kind of politics. The morality of taboos is more the mindset of so-called the ethic of repugnance. When people think that something is repugnant, they don't even want to analyze this. That's why it's taken so long for people to accept, for instance, homosexuality, because it had moved into that part of the brain. Once it comes out of there and you look at it rationally, it's not a problem. So that's something that we have to struggle with when we work with human. Thirdly, and this is very important for the topic of this seminar, we have an amazing capacity to exclude and to include people. In all human societies, it's very easy to form a group of us and a group of them. But what I find is really amazing is that we have been able to build countries and nations and sometimes a world where people are actually all included into the same group. And that's where we have to work. So, in essence, the role of liberal parties in European enlargement and promoting transition is to be ourselves, to be involved with the future. We like the future. We should be engaged in the future. We should use the future technologies to engage for liberal ideas. And the future is decentralized. The whole communication technology is a decentralized idea. So all of us as individuals have an impact together. I think that's amazing. Yeah, 1 minute more. Secondly, we have to keep being our boring selves and really doing the homework. And thirdly, we have to keep doing what we really love, which is engaging at the international level with each other. Thank you very much.